Here's a movie that I got because the synopsis alone. This is a type of movie that just screams Sci-Fi Channel original movie. The movie I'm talking about here is Dragonstorm. When hell rains. Now this is like 50 cents, so I didn't pay that much for it all. But ridiculous. It's directed by Steven Feuerstein. It's produced by Jeffrey Beach and Philip Roth. Philip Roth is a guy who's produced a lot of bad sci-fi movies like Digital Man. I think he also directed that. He's also known as Philip J. Roth. And just by the cover alone, it looks like some really shitty CGI. Now, here we get to the reason why I also got it as the cast, because you have John Rhys Davies and you have Maxwell Caulfield. So I think Maxwell Caulfield pretty much plays, the lead in this. So the Maxwell Caulfield has come a long way since Grease 2. And basically the gist of the plot is that when meteorites fall from the sky, they unleash fire-breathing dragons that threaten to destroy mankind. In the wake of the destruction, 6 people become unlikely heroes, providing humanity's last stand against the terror. I find that hilarious. Like, meteorites fall from the sky, and then they also bring fire-breathing dragons. I'm like, great. Like, meteorites by themselves are bad enough, but add in fire-breathing dragons? Shit. That's just disaster upon disaster there. I mean, it sounds like it's like a Sci-Fi Channel movie. I'm surprised they haven't done like a shark, a Sharknado sequel, like, Meteor Shark. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. The Sci-Fi Channel, get on it already. Oh crap, I'm giving them ideas. It's probably not a good idea. But anyway, that's Dragonstorm. Give me years of breathing dragons. Here's another full moon flick, Seedpeople, which I also have on DVD in a 20 horror pack. This has a video zone. That's one of the main reasons why. And it's also the, part of the full moon lot. And to be honest, I mean, this is directed by Peter Manoogian, who I don't think he's that bad of a director. I think he directed Eliminators. I think he directed Mandroid, which is sort of a loose sequel to Eliminators. And I think he's also the guy who directed Arena, which I enjoy. And the boxing movie, sort of space kickboxing movie. Which I have on DVD through Shout Factory. And this movie looked like shit. I mean, the cover looks shitty. I've heard a lot of this movie's terrible, but I saw the trailer recently and it looked like it might be some cheesy fun. So at least it looks like there's some decent practical effects in the film, at least, from what I saw. Some shitty morphing effects, but morphing at this point in time in the 90s, especially with a low budget, like early 92 with a low budget from Full Moon, and morphing effects aren't going to look good at all. But anyway, yeah, I'll definitely give the flick a look sometime. So maybe when I'm doing stuff like Critters and things like that, maybe give Seedpeople a look. So that's Seedpeople. Here we have a movie that I've always liked this film. This is a movie I have fond memories of. I remember renting it at Hollywood Video back when Hollywood Video was still around, when it was near my local Costco when I was living with my grandmother in Tigard in Oregon. And we go to Costco, and then sometimes I'd convince my mom to go to Hollywood Video. And I remember renting this one a lot, and also The Fly 2. And I also rented a few others, but for the life of me, they're not coming to my brain at the moment. But this is one I rented, a good amount of times, and that is Sssss. I don't know how many S's are in Sssss. So, I thought this was a creepy movie, a nice little creepy TV movie with Dirk Benedict. And basically, Dirk Benedict is the star of this. You have Strover Martin, and he plays a crazy scientist, and he's obsessed with king cobras and snakes. And he comes with this idea to create the ultimate predator, the ultimate king cobra. And he basically over a series of the film goes along, he gives Dirk Benedict's character a series of injections, which ultimately turns him into a giant king cobra, which is pretty fucked up. And it's got some decent makeup effects for the 70s. It's a 70s film. It's from 1973. So the makeup effects, the effects are really good for a 1973 film, especially a low budget. I always thought it was creepy. I thought it was a nice little chilling sort of movie. The scene in the carnival where you see that, the half man, half snake, I thought was really, really well done, really unsettling. And yeah, I'll definitely review this sometime because I've always liked the movie. And I think it also has an early cameo by Reb Brown in this. I think Reb Brown plays a football player who gets bit by a snake, I think. But I don't remember if I know for sure. But yeah, this is the type of movie I'd like to see done again. You know, a man, you know, like sort of were-snake movie with practical effects. But they haven't done it yet. So I got cheated by... There's like some Indian movie that kind of does it, but it's a chick and it's not in English. So I can't understand what the hell anybody's saying. So yeah, get on it. Like, and no, don't do it with Sci-Fi Channel. They make some shit like Snake Man, and like it would be a sequel to Skeleton Man with Daniel Baldwin, and it would suck ass. I'm talking like get Rick Baker involved, and you know, good makeup effects artists involved, and it doesn't have to be a theatrical release. It could be one of those direct-to-video movies. But I just think it'd be a really cool idea with a were-snake instead of a, you know, werewolf. You know, a were-snake. That'd be pretty cool. It's kind of where I thought the lizard would look like in Amazing Spider-Man, but that's not the case. But anyway, here's another film, The Shadow Men, which I've been curious about. It's got Eric Roberts, Cheryl Fenn, and Dean Stockwell in it. Basically, it talks about the Men in Black. Not the movie, not the Men in Black. The movie Men in Black and the comic that the movie's based on was obviously inspired by these stories and these accounts that people had of these mysterious Men in Black who would show up after UFO sightings and so forth. There's been speculations that they might be aliens, there's speculation that, you know, the government. And here, I haven't seen the film, but I thought the trailer looked somewhat decent. And I like the idea of, you know, Dean Stockwell, Eric Roberts, Cheryl Fenn. And basically just the plot is, you know, the blinding light of an alien craft forces the Wilsons, Eric Roberts and Cheryl Fenn, off the road into a state of unconsciousness, missing time. They awaken to the terror that awaits, only to be stalked by mysterious men in black on a mission to conceal all evidence of the Wilsons' alien abduction. The men will stop at nothing to silence them, and with time running out, fate draws the Wilsons to a final deadly confrontation with the shadowy men in black. Or is this just the beginning? Which I thought it would be interesting to see another film that deals with the men in black, but in a different way. You know, they're not, you know, here we are, the men in black. No, it's not that type of thing. It's a little bit more sinister. So I thought that'd be interesting. So that's just Shadow Men. Here's Salsa, the motion picture. It's hot. Yeah, I got this because, for one, I have Lambada, and it was cheap, and it's a Canon film. So I'm thinking, okay, I have Lambada, now I have Salsa. Make one horribly awesome, you know, double feature with cheesy 80s dance movies. So Lambada and Salsa, like the perfect double feature. Yeah. This is directed by Kenny Ortega, who would basically curse the world with the High School Musical films. So it's not like this is a great film by any means. It definitely isn't. But, it's funny. What? I can't say the guy's whole name, so this is what I thought. It says, the hottest movie since Dirty Dancing. So, I just think it said Knight Rider. So I'm like, what? Fucking Knight Riders? What, Kit saw this movie and it's like, this is the hottest movie since Dirty Dancing. And by the way, Kenny Ortega actually has a relationship with Dirty Dancing, since he was actually, he was involved in he was a dance instructor. So he's one of the dance instructors in that film. So anyway, yeah, that's Salsa. It's hot. Yeah, it's probably pretty shitty. Give you the salsa farts. Anyway, here's a movie that I remember sucking pretty badly. Back in Business with Brian Bosworth and Joe Torre. It was being a pretty shitty film. I picked it up again because, for one, I want to give it another shot. Two, I do not think it's on DVD. And, you know, I just remember this one being really disappointing. I like Brian Bosworth. I enjoy the Stone Cold. I really enjoy Stone Cold. I think that, you know, the other one he did, One Man's Justice, isn't too bad. And so I've always kind of, you know, Brian Bosworth hasn't done that many movies. So to see him, you know, in a kind of a buddy cop flick with Joe Torre, I thought that'd be pretty cool. But I remember it just being really disappointing. Had a waste of Brian James in it. Barely no action that's at all memorable. It's R-rated just on principle. I don't remember anything being super R-rated about it. I remember the plot being very generic. I remember Brian Bosworth basically, majority of the movie is remember who the fuck he is, and then doesn't do shit, and then is talking about to a psychiatrist about wrenches and crap. Yeah, it's that type of movie. So yeah, back in business. Give it another look, and probably most likely rant on it. I just thought, if I ever get around to reviewing more Brian Bosworth flicks, give this a look. And it was really cheap, so that's back in business. Here's a film I've always enjoyed, Kingpin. I think it's a hilarious comedy, one of my favorite Farrelly Brothers comedies. I always remember catching it on TV and cracking up. I definitely probably say my favorite Randy Quaid movie. Best movie about bowling ever made. Really enjoyable, fun flick. I can only hope that the new Dumb and Dumber will be as funny as Kingpin, because after Kingpin, the Farrelly Brothers just fell off the map. Actually, not necessarily. I mean, they did. Me, Myself, and Irene. I didn't mind, but I mean, later after that, that's pretty much it. After Me, Myself, and Irene, and even then, I like Kingpin more than I like Me, Myself, and Irene. But that's Kingpin. I enjoy that one. Good performance by Woody Harrelson and a great cameo by Bill Murray. Here we have a film that I'm really glad to have on DVD, Ghost Town. This is an underrated movie that nobody barely talks about. This should be on DVD. Shout Factory, Screw Factory, get a hold of this, please. I have it in Laserdisc too, but I mean, this is a cool movie. The Good, the Bad's, the Satanic. This is a movie that they might have shown another DVD update, but it doesn't really matter because I wouldn't mind, showing it again. This is, with my opinion, the best out there when it comes to supernatural westerns. It's not usually a very good genre for horror. And basically, just the plot is the back of the synopsis of the tape is: a dusty ghost town, seemingly abandoned for years, holds the lives of its original inhabitants in an animated netherworld for 100 years. The evil outlaw's spell of death and suffering over the townspeople must end to set them free from eternal pain. And when a modern sheriff's deputy is lured to the town in search of a missing beauty, he comes face to face in a battle with his grotesque evil of the past. The horrors of the possessed, perverted outlaw in a time-suspended dimension are the only setting for a graphic and frightening war of mind, nerves, and flesh. So, yeah, that's Ghost Town. I always liked the cover art too. I always thought the cover art was really cool, especially the skeleton. It's a pretty cool skeleton. Some good cover art. Definitely sold the movie. I mean, if you see the cover art for that, that'd be cool. So anyway, that's Ghost Town. I needed to give that another look. I remember liking it, though, the first time around. Here you have a movie, you got it for pretty cheap, L.A.P.D, Protect and Serve. Got it because it's Dennis Hopper. He pretty much plays it straight here, which is interesting to see. I don't think he plays a bad guy, he just plays a cop. Another Dennis Hopper movie, because I like Dennis Hopper, may he rest in peace, he's a great actor, called Apostate, which has Richard Grieco in it. And I wasn't thinking much about it until I saw a trailer for it. It looked somewhat atmospheric and interesting. It's basically Dennis Hopper, I believe. He plays an investigator, or he plays a killer. I think he plays an investigator, and I think Richard Grieco plays the killer. Which is interesting. Richard Grieco is a serial killer. The dude from 21 Jump Street is a serial killer. Well, that's the Apostate. For the life of me, I don't know what the fuck what an apostate is, but it sounds like something in your body. Like it's like your prostate. Your apostate is out of order. You need to have an apostate exam. That's the only thing I pretty much think of when I think of apostate.